Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Buffalo SportsCenter. Today we are going to preview this very important AFC heavyweight matchup between the 5-3 Buffalo Bills and the 4-3 Cincinnati Bengals. But before I get into the preview, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. We are trying to grow this community slowly but surely, and your support would be greatly appreciated. Now let's talk a little bit about the two teams, starting off with the Bills offense, who for the first time in a very long time appeared to show some life on offense, especially in the first half. Josh Allen had a great game on Thursday night against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He went 31 for 40, 324 passing yards with 2 touchdown passes, plus a very good interception by William Golston of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Allen was rolling out on a bootleg. He got tipped at the line of scrimmage, deflected right into the ever-gracious arms of Golston, and that set up a Buccaneers touchdown drive. But I thought Josh Allen was fantastic. He was able to play aggressive like he normally does. He was throwing the ball well, didn't commit any more turnovers outside of the fluke interception, and what he hasn't done very much this season, he actually used his legs. Offensive coordinator Ken Dorsey, I thought, called a very good game. He listened to the fans and recognized that, yes, the Bills had gotten away from their identity, which is Allen's elusiveness, Allen's double-sided nature, plus a very good supporting cast helping him played football. And for a while, the Bills were just checking it down, 3-yard curls or running up the middle on second down and short. Not so much this week. It was a little less unpredictable, and the Buccaneers definitely couldn't handle that. But they did make some halftime adjustments, and the Bills' offense only scored a single touchdown in the second half. They will need to be better, and it would help if Sean McDermott let them go for these 4th and 1, 4th and short plays, because he really did not trust his offense as much as I would like, and would continuously punt the ball back inside the 5 against the Buccaneers. But for the supporting cast on the offense, it was a good day for them. Khalil Shakir had his greatest game as a Buffalo Bill. He had 92 yards and 6 catches. Gabe Davis was involved a ton more than he has been this season. He had 9 catches for 87 yards. Stephon Diggs, 9 catches, 70 yards. Dalton Kincaid caught his first touchdown pass and also had 5 catches for 65 yards. So it was a much improved day from this Bills offense. Definitely showed more life, showed more versatility. That is a huge plus, especially when you look across the aisle and see who they're going up against. And that is a very solid Bengals defense. Now, the Bengals rush defense hasn't been great this year. One of the worst defenses in the league when it comes to defending the run. That means you could see a lot of James Cook inside runs, maybe Latavius Murray, maybe Leonard Fournette, who the Bills just signed to their practice squad. All 3 of those guys could get in on the action against the Bengals, but the Bengals defense, especially their pass defense, is still very good. Logan Wilson has been one of the better weak side linebackers in football over this year. He had an interception against the San Francisco 49ers. Sam Hubbard, the veteran defensive lineman, he's been as solid as he always has been, having 4 sacks already this year. DJ Reader, a very decent run stopper down the middle. Trey Hendrickson, he has been one of the greatest. He's got to be one of the greatest signings in Bengals team history, because this guy just continues to produce double-digit sack seasons, and it looks like that's going to be the case again this year, as he already has 8 sacks this year, and we're only halfway through the season, a little over halfway through now. And while I did say their weakest part of the defense is the run, their safeties have been depleted after they lost Jesse Bates, they lost Eli Apple, the cornerback. They still have Awuzie, and they still have Cam Taylor-Britt. So those are 2 guys that will need to step up if the Bengals defense is to slow down this Bills offense that suddenly found life again, that took a step forward. The Bengals defense, they had a lot of turnovers against the San Francisco 49ers. They picked off Brock Purdy twice, maybe 3 times. I can't remember right now. My head is a little fuzzy at the moment. But the Bengals defense was phenomenal in shutting down the 49ers last week. And it was overall a very, very, very good game for Cincinnati, as it looked like they're finally back. They have really struggled, but they've now popped off 3 wins in a row. We're sitting at 1-3 after 4 weeks, but now here they are sitting at 4-3 with a prime opportunity to regain some ground in a very tight AFC North, because they did really fall behind with losses to the Browns, lost to the Baltimore Ravens as well. So they have really struggled against their divisional opponents. They're going to really need to rack up the wins no matter how they can. And a big part to racking up wins will be how their offense performs. And last week against the 49ers, Joe Burrow finally did. He finally showed up. It looks like he is healthy again as he went 28 for 32, very efficient, 283 yards and 3 touchdown passes. And speaking of efficient, running back Joe Mixon had his best game of the year, going 16 carries, 87 yards, and having 5.4 yards per carry. Very good for him, but the big story, of course, Joe Burrow healthy again, and suddenly he looks like the all-star, the Pro Bowler that we have all come to expect from him. Joe Burrow looked great, and in his 2 games last year against the Bills, he was looking very good, although that first one, of course, was called off early due to the Damar Hamlin heart attack that he had on the field. But in that playoff game against the Buffalo Bills, he was dominant, extremely dominant. And while he doesn't have Hayden Hurst at tight end, he still does have Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. And on Sunday, Jamar Chase had 10 catches, 100 yards, including a touchdown catch. T. Higgins, again, like everyone else, finally showed up this year, had 5 catches for 69 yards. Tyler Boyd, their slot wide receiver, had 3 catches, 40 yards. And Irv Smith Jr., their starting tight end, not really too involved, although he was involved earlier in the game in the short yardage department. He had 4 catches for 25 yards. So once again, a very, very good game for this Bengals offense, and they desperately needed it. Zach Taylor has been getting questioned about his play calling choices, and against the 49ers, everything seemed to finally click together, which should scare everyone else around the NFL because it looks like the Bengals are back, and the Bills are now the second team that has to face the real Bengals team. It looks like they finally stood up. Let's see if they can continue that against the Bills defense, who, despite losing numerous starters, it looks like the Bills defense actually can survive without the likes of Tre'Davious White, Matt Milano, Daquan Jones. They can survive. They can float above water, although the Bills need their offense to really carry the load for the rest of the season, depending on how the trade deadline shakes up for the Bills. We'll see if they make any moves. This is, of course, being recorded before the NFL trade deadline, so it's not crystal clear yet if the Bills will bring in anyone. If they do, probably be on defense because right now, our cornerback situation, not the greatest, but it's okay. Christian Benford shut down Mike Evans last week, although Chris Godwin was kind of having his way on Dane Jackson a bit, which is concerning. But in the middle of the field, Terrell Bernard, what a story he has been this year. One of the best, if not the best, Bills defender, especially considering all the circumstances. He was a rookie, totally unproven. And yet this year, he's been playing at a Pro Bowl level. He doesn't have the picks to really back it up yet, but if you watch his game, he's been all over the field, making tackles, covering for a weak side linebacking position that is facing a lot of question marks right now. And the defensive line, once again, had a very solid game against the Buccaneers. Leonard Floyd has been racking up the sacks this year, but so surprisingly has A.J. Epinesa, who now has 5 sacks this year. Von Miller is back, but he hasn't really made an impact yet. And Jordan Poyer, wow, what a game he had. He was so versatile. Sometimes he was playing in the safety position, his natural position. Other times he was playing as a nickel cornerback, coming down the field a little bit and ball hawking. That's really cool to see Sean McDermott and how they scheme up Jordan Poyer, and it'll be interesting to see how they continue to scheme him up in the weeks to come, and especially against a tough task this weekend when he has to guard against the likes of Chase, T. Higgins, Irv Smith. That's going to be very tough for Jordan Poyer to handle. Now, Jordan Phillips in the middle of the field, he's replacing the injured Daquan Jones as the Bills' top run stopper. Hasn't been doing a great job as the Bills' run defense has definitely struggled over the last couple of weeks. So if you're the Bengals, that could, like the Bills, be an area to attack. Attack their run defense, and then that'll open up space in the passing game where Joe Burrow has shown time and time again that he can pick apart, well, at least a Leslie Frazier-led defense. It's yet to be determined if he can pick apart a Sean McDermott defense. But folks, with all of that out of the way, here is what our BSC panel is predicting for this huge Week 10 Sunday Night Football matchup. Let's see them.
3rd and 1 from a goal line last week for any of these teams.
Oh, I wonder.
Cincinnati did good last time.
There's the touchdown as he goes off left guard and has a few words to say to Jesse Bates.
You want a rivalry? People had started to develop that right away about the Bills and the